Hello, everyone. Welcome to Optimal Timelines. I am your guide, Sean Collins, and helping you to connect to your most optimal future timeline. So it's that time again. It's time for the monthly Tarotscope readings for May 2022. And as most of you know, the reason I use the North Node by sign and house as opposed to your sun, moon, or ascendant sign is that it's recognized in astrology. Your North Node is your North Star, the path that you're supposed to take in this lifetime and the lessons you're supposed to learn. So it's much more relevant to your everyday life. If you're unfamiliar with your North Node, there's going to be a link in the description box below that can show you everything you need to know. So let's get started on the readings. Okay, so this is going to be your monthly Tarotscope reading for May 2022 for everybody with their North Node in Cancer and or the 4th house. So I'm going to connect to the energies and we can begin. And while I'm shuffling and connecting, I'd like to invite you to take some deep breaths, relax into the reading, open yourself up, open your consciousness up, close your eyes if you're at a place where you can do that, and just kind of open yourself to any messages that need to come to you. I call upon my spirit guides and guardians and the wisdom of my ancestors to bring forth the information that's true and correct for all who see this reading, that it may bring them the most beautiful, happy life possible and set them on their most optimal future timeline. So may it be. Okay, North Node in Cancer and or the 4th house. Okay, so the what's coming up big time for you, there's a couple of main themes that are coming up for you this month. But one big thing is really getting into looking at life and enjoying life from allowing yourself to feel and to experience life to its fullest, to open up to the full spectrum of experience. With the Nine of Pentacles here, this Lady of Means is in her garden with a hobby. She's got her it looks like a falcon, and she's in this beautiful garden, and she's by herself yet is content, and she's enjoying basically the physical pleasures of life, even like the small things, and that's allowing so one of the things that happens when you have a North Node in Cancer and or the 4th house with that South Node in Capricorn, sometimes we don't allow ourselves to fully feel things. And see, there's a reason for that. One of the gifts that Capricorn brings, Capricorn in the 10th house, is resilience and toughness. Building up like a thick skin, things that it takes to go out there and succeed in the world, or in lots of endeavors. And sometimes Capricorn and the Capricorn energy won't allow itself to be swayed one way or the other with emotions and feelings. Okay, and what I'm feeling for you this month in particular is this is a time for you to get into that more emotional side of life, and to be feeling comfortable with it. Now, the first half of the month, what I'm seeing for you, Cancer North Nodes, is I'm seeing something related to the work that you do. And so whether that's a job or wherever you do your work, even a stay-at-home parent, but anywhere there is going to be something to where you could feel like undervalued or unappreciated. And for some of you, that may be the case. However, what I'm seeing here is that it's almost like you have a lot of valuable assets in what you do, but there is like an emotional element missing from it. Okay, like for example, let's say that no matter where we're at in life, most of us have had jobs at one time. You're at a job, in your career, and you do well, and people tell you that you do well and that you're an asset to whatever you do in this company or organization. But it's still, you feel like there's something lacking, and you feel like there's other people that maybe aren't as talented as you that seem to get ahead. And see, what this is that this is what the importance of the emotional element. I have Two of Cups here reversed, okay? And you can, working hard and diligently only gets you so far when you're dealing with in a group of people or an organization. Because what's really valued, like you could have a person that has less talent than another person, but this person that has maybe less talent, is a hard worker, but maybe is less talented, but is more skillful with people relations. See, that's what this is saying here. So what's happening here is that in whatever you do, even if you work from home, even if you, you know, are not dealing directly with people, you are, because there is this, whatever it is, there's this emotional element, or it's like it's people skills, okay? And people skills require an emotional input. People skills aren't like talking to a computer or a robot, type of a thing where, excuse me, it's like being able to care about, hey, what did you do this weekend, and this and that, and it's like sharing. It's like, it's the gift of gab. It's the, greasing the wheels, whatever, you want to call it. And a lot of times people that are like super good workers but don't have those skills, it gets frustrating, to them. Now, you might have these skills to a certain extent, but it's wanting to come out more, because like your go-to thing normally in life is, if I just, work hard in whatever I'm trying to do, whether it's even a hobby or job or a relationship, if I just work hard, keep my nose to the grindstone, I should get success. And yes, that is very important. Like, elbow grease and hard work is important, but don't underestimate the importance of like social skills. And that's exactly what this is saying. So I feel like this, even if you are work from home, like I said, a stay-at-home parent, something in what you do every day for your work and career is going to happen this first 2 weeks. Now, I do think that it could involve, it's going to involve something to where you might feel something is unfair. And so I'm feeling this big time. So like you might feel that maybe you haven't been appreciated fully, or you haven't been recognized fully, or a situation come up where the unfairness could be like you felt like someone was being unfair to you just in general over someone else. And again, what's coming up here is reversed high priestess. So reversed high priestess she is a skillful master of the full spectrum of communication, the full spectrum of emotions from dark to light, and is understanding that and is able to stand within that power of all of that. So it's like we're talking about not just small talk, how are you doing, Sally? How was your weekend? the lighthearted stuff, which is, the social skills. But we're talking about, on the, dark side of the pillar here, be able to go in deep, being able to like read people, read their emotions. We're talking about, deep empathy. These are the things you're learning for this lifetime. Very important skills, like this very deep connection, being able to read undercurrents. Okay. So that all of that is people skills. Like, for example, what I just said about the deep undercurrents. Okay. Walking into your boss's or supervisor's office. Okay. And a person that has these deep empathic social skills would see the face of their supervisor and pick up an energy, and within a few seconds of just saying a few things would say, maybe this isn't a good time to tell them ... or maybe this isn't a good time to ask for a raise, or whatever it is. That is a skill, as opposed to, you are a hard worker and you walk into your boss's office and you drop something on them, and then they didn't react the way that you wanted them to react. And you're like, what did I'm just telling them I'm working my butt off here, and I go in there to try to communicate, and it's not being recognized. But see, this is not being able to read the undercurrents. All of these are social skills. Normally, when we talk about, the social skills and playing the game at work, most people always just talk about, the mundane stuff, is like, well, just be friendly and talk to people and all that's important. But what I just said here is what's also important is to go, and that is an extreme emotional intelligence. And remember, what you're learning in this lifetime is you're learning to have a high EQ, not IQ, but EQ. Okay, emotional quotient. You're here to work on your emotional intelligence. And all of that, a skillful person could walk in and read a person or a room right away. And that is like deep empathic skills. So this is not frivolous stuff here. This is really, and what ends up happening is, just before I go on to the second half of the month, I want to touch on how this can play out. A lot of people that have this South Node placement in Capricorn in the 10th house, they can avoid the skills of, emotional mastery so much. Like, they can avoid that, they can actually limit the amount of emotions that they allow in their life, and it's almost like they don't even know it sometimes. Okay. Then, just to share with you a bit, I am a North Node in Cancer. Okay. So this reading applies to me. This is something that I've, worked on. And when you do that, you realize, oh, wow, okay, you see things from a new light. Like, all of a sudden, a whole new world opens up to you. And the people that you thought you knew well, when you begin to like go a little bit deeper and work on that empathic, feeling energy, that emotional energy, you get to know people at a deeper level. And it's almost like, it really is like a crazy superpower. So when you take the gifts that you already came into this life with, the Capricorn gifts of, resoluteness, with, stability, with responsibility, with, being able to achieve things, okay? And then you attach the skills and the mastery of the emotional intelligence, like we're talking superhero here, okay? So remember, this thing at work, go deeper. Remember to connect on an emotional level. It's going to help you to understand things better. Now, second half of the month. All right. I feel like what's happening is that there is some transformation that's going on in different areas of each of your lives. For some of you, it's going to be relationships, work, friendships, but there's some deep, like deep transformation and changes going on. But in particular, something this second half of the month is going to be, you're going to be reflecting on past issues and maybe past battles that were fought. And some of you, I can see, are going to kind of really learn from them and learn that, okay, you're gonna see the light, in a sense, is what I'm saying. And some of you, it could be a little bit harder to get these lessons. So if by the end of the month you haven't felt like, there was some really transformative changes that were happening in your life, in some aspect or aspects of your life, go back and think, how can I like rethink these things? But in particular, I feel like, we're looking at maybe past conflicts or battles or things that have happened, and it's about learning from them. And in particular, what I'm looking at is there could be something regarding like something that like you felt should have been given to you but wasn't given to you. That could be money, a raise, it could be, gifts, it could be love, it could be like respect, or something to that effect, something that you felt like you deserved, um, wasn't given to you. And what I'm seeing here is, again, this is tied up with, if you really look at the situations, and I think there's going to be more than one of these memories coming up. I want you to think, if I look at that from an emotional lens, not just a practical analytical lens, but if you look at something in a more emotional lens and try to see, these things in a more empathic way, you'll see that there are ways you could have gone about things differently if you would have understood what was going on more and allowing yourself to feel emotionally. Okay? So these two things, this is what's playing out. And, particularly the second half of the month, go back in your memories and you'll be able to like reframe these things in your mind and say, oh, okay, I see what happened there. I fully didn't I didn't understand the situation fully emotionally. And it's like when you begin to rethink that, rethink these things, um, it's going to be a big game changer. And as I said with this Nine of Pentacles here, okay, um, embrace the full richness of life, which includes all sorts of emotions. And a lot of you have gone through some really intense things, especially the last few years, because we just recently had the North Node, was in Cancer, okay? And a lot of you have gone through some really intense things, like last like 3 to 4 years, possibly even longer. And what it is that what I've noticed with this North Node is, the more that we resist becoming comfortable with emotions, deep emotions and deep feelings, the more the universe throws things into our life to break us out of these patterns so we can feel more. And when you open yourself up and allow yourself to feel everything, both the good, the highs and the lows, because there's a tendency to kind of stay in that like middle ground, not too high, not too low. But when you allow yourself to do that and to feel that, that's when your life really begins to open up and it begins to make sense. So I know we covered a lot here, but just maybe replay this again and really kind of take it in to see where I'm getting, because this is some really kind of going deep stuff. But anyway, I hope this reading was helpful to you. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to shoot an email to me anytime or in the comments. Would love to hear from you. If you'd like a personal reading and more details on personal readings, there'll be a link in the description box below. But yeah, go out there, make it a good month, feel deeply, get that superpower of deep emotional empathy, and yeah, make it a great month. Again, thanks, and we'll see you on some more videos. Many blessings.